Look, there are certain things that folks just don't tell you about moving to Texas. From the insurance crisis, the weather whiplash, the surprise taxes, and the 45-minute quick commute, or why half of the state suffers from allergies. If you're planning on moving to Texas, this is the video I wish somebody made for me, because these are the things that blindside newcomers every single year. The biggest thing no one tells you about moving to Texas is choosing the wrong suburb or community and then regretting it later. Folks are not talking about this very much, and it is a huge reason people regret moving to Texas. Look, they picked a community because it had high-rated schools, but let me tell you about schools, okay? They can change ratings any time, any year. You can have really great schools for the first 2 to 3 years, and then all of a sudden there's a switch because you've got different students coming in and out. So that is not necessarily a trustworthy indicator on what community you should select. Not the only factor anyway. Some picked communities that were overcrowded or rapidly growing, and they didn't really recognize that, and they wanted something more quiet. Others got that sticker shock factor of the property taxes, which we'll talk about more, along with the HOAs. Some didn't really understand the master plan community and older homes. Some wanted that old style charm, and others wanted the brand new homes. All of that comes with different characteristics. Then another big reason that goes underneath this heading is the lifestyle fit, and that's everything. The hidden costs that really knock people off their rocker. You've got your homeowner's insurance, the Texas sticker shock. Let's start with this one first. That hits almost everyone. Texas now has one of the fastest rising home insurance premiums in the country. Why? Hailstorms, severe wind risks, wildfire claims, and insurance companies pulling out of certain zip codes and out of the state of Texas. People move here thinking they're saving money until the first quote shows up. I knew before I moved here everything was bigger in Texas. I just didn't realize the insurance bill was also on steroids. Okay, I'll give you a good example. A couple years ago, we had to change insurance companies because we were forced, okay? They were moving out of Texas. They said it was too much for them. They were paying out too much. You know how insurance companies go. We end up having a really wonderful insurance premium every single year, which was great. And we doubled that, or more than doubled that actually, with the new insurance company, because there's not a lot to choose from here in Texas because of the weather volatility and everything else. So just be ready for that aspect. Property taxes, the surprise that blows up your budget. People love saying Texas has no state income tax though, and that's very true. But the flip side to this is Texas has some of the highest property taxes in the country, and they can dramatically increase your monthly housing costs. Let me show you something almost every out-of-state buyer gets wrong. If your monthly budget is $3,500, the tax rate alone can change how much house you qualify for by nearly 6 figures. Here's a real example using 3 popular Texas towns. The Woodlands, located just outside of Houston. The tax rate, 2.4% on average. That's $445,000 in terms of your buying power. Alamo Heights in San Antonio, where the tax rate is 1.9% on average, $490,000. And in the Hill Country, Fredericksburg, the tax rate 1.5%, that's $525,000. Same budget, same interest rate. But depending on which Texas city you choose, your buying power can swing by $80,000 to $100,000 just because of the property taxes. And this is exactly why many people feel tricked by Texas affordability, along with other reasons. The list price, it looks great online, but the monthly payments says something completely different. Why this matters so much? Well, a home in one suburb might have a 1.9% tax rate, and then 10 minutes down the road, it jumps to 3.2%. Every county, every city, and even every subdivision can have its own tax rates. And some include MUDs, PIDs, and special assessments that buyers don't find out about until it's too late, which we'll discuss a little bit later about that. That difference, hundreds, sometimes thousands added to your monthly payment. Real talk, I've seen families fall in love with a home online. They're like, Angie, this is the best neighborhood ever. It's got everything that we need. Right up until we sign on that dotted line and they find out how much their monthly payments are going to cost with the HOAs included, along with the property taxes. Then it's adios, amigos and amigas. Utilities. Your summer AC bill has entered the chat, y'all. This is where Texas really humbles you. Texas summers are no joke. Electricity bills can run $250 to $600 or more, which is completely normal in the summer, especially if you live in a larger home or a home that has an older HVAC system. But that's just the electricity. When you combine electricity with water, gas, trash, and internet, the average utility bill in Texas typically lands around $377 to $460 a month, depending on where you live, the size of your home, and how many people are living with you, and how energy efficient your systems are. And here's what really surprises newcomers. Water rates are rising. Because of the drought conditions and rapid population growth, many Texas cities have increased water prices, and summer irrigation can push that bill even higher. Back to those old HVAC systems, look, when they struggle to work and they're 10 plus years old, I'm going to tell you it's going to be working overtime, and it's going to cost you a whole lot more to keep your space cool. Then you got to consider you're not just watering in the summer, but you're watering all year round. And the reason why is because we have shifty ground, as I call it. Yes, our ground moves here, and so you want to make sure that your foundation is watered so it doesn't cause major problems later on. Unlike cooler climates where you only water in the summer, Texas grass and landscaping need consistent attention, or your yard will fry. Listen, at this point, my AC was working harder than I was. And honestly, I did not appreciate the competition. All right, what about maintenance? Texas homes age faster than you think. Texas weather is dramatic. Homes need more upkeep here because the foundation shifts on clay and limestone. There's hailstorms that could hit your rooftops. Those HVAC systems or water heaters or any of those major systems go out a lot quicker because of our landscape. My yard grows faster than my YouTube channel some weeks, and that's saying a lot. Hidden fees, the fine print no one reads until it's too late. Here's something almost no newcomer understands. Those HOAs, those MUDs, and those PIDs, which I mentioned before. These are special district fees that you won't see on the listing photos, but they can make or break your monthly budget. What this actually means, you might find a home at a great list price, but the extra fees can add $300 to $600 a month. And MUD or PID taxes can last 20 to 30 years or forever for that matter. Here's a quick breakdown. HOAs charge monthly or annual fees for the amenities and neighborhood upkeep. MUDs, municipal utility districts, are special taxes that pay for the water, sewer, and new community infrastructure. PIDs, public improvement districts, they fund the roads, lighting, landscaping, and community improvements, and also show up as an additional line on your tax bill. Combined, these fees can significantly increase your housing costs, which is why two homes that look identical on paper can have completely different monthly payments. What Texas weather actually feels like. This surprises everyone. Look, we all know Texas is hot. That's a given. But no one tells you how many different types of misery you'll be cycling through each year. The Texas heat is not normal, okay? It's just not. It's intense. It's long lasting, especially on record. You can find this everywhere, even in 2024 and 25. Overheat wave, really torturous for everyone, damaging as well. Then you have the allergies I was referring to, cedar fever, for example. Look, cedar fever is a real thing. You've got whole families getting knocked out. I've seen grown adults surprised by the pollen, that it can break their spirits, right, and make them super sick. It really feels like the flu. Watery eyes, a headache, I mean, you name it, it gives it to you. And then you've got the old weather whiplash. One week it's 80 degrees, the next is freezing with golf ball size hail pouring down. Oh, Angie, it can't be that bad, right? Well, take a look at this. It really can be awful and dangerous. We get storms, flooding, hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, and hail, sometimes all in the same month across the state. We even had a really bad storm back in May where there was hail that was huge coming down. It damaged all kinds of things, homes, properties, everything. It was really bad. Texas isn't cheap, it's differently expensive. Online, Texas is marketed as the super affordable paradise. The truth? Texas is affordable in some areas, but it's also expensive in ways you don't expect. That can include groceries, which are surprisingly high in certain cities and suburban markets. We are a car-dependent state, which can add up. Gas is about $3.15 a gallon. Tolls can run you $50 to $200 per month. It adds up very quickly, especially if you're driving this huge state, which is like 800 miles long and 800 miles wide, you're gonna feel like you drove cross country, except for you're still in Texas. It can be costly. And what about healthcare and childcare costs? Those aren't low. Forbes found that Texas has some of the highest insurance premiums in the country. Plus, one health insurance coverage is over $4,600 for a family insurance coverage, over $7,000 through an employer, which is mind-blowing. And to be honest, with that cost, you think you'd be getting premium care, exceptional care. But in reality, not so much. Texas was ranked in the bottom 5 in the nation for healthcare and earned a C+ for the quality. And the cost for childcare, that can run you $6,500 to over $11,000 per year. Okay, then what about housing then, Ange? Housing prices vary wildly within metro areas. Austin's $499,000 median list price represented the highest among the 4 metro areas, but also the only year-over-year decline. Dallas-Fort Worth's median dropped to $439,000 from $450,000, while Houston fell $370,000 from $375,000. San Antonio declined to $335,000 from $339,000. You save money at HEB, which you know is my favorite, and hand it right on over to the insurance companies and the mortgage servicers. The commute, they really don't warn you about. Here's another thing no one tells you about. Texas traffic will create a lot more gray in your locks. Austin, Dallas, and Houston consistently rank among the worst traffic cities in the nation. And it catches newcomers off guard because everything looks so spread out and easy to map out. What about public transportation? It's non-existent, people. Almost, at least. Can you ride share, bus, take the light rail? Sure, you can in some cities. But Texas doesn't have a fully connected, reliable, statewide public transit system. If you live here, you are going to need a car. Period. I-35 expansion, it is always under construction, okay? Always under construction. It's the main artery through Texas, and the expansion projects is expected to run well into the next decade. You heard me right, decade. And honestly, it's been under construction since I moved here in 2005. Don't think it's gonna end anytime soon. I'm really not convinced. Suburbs growing faster than the infrastructure. That's another one. One of the biggest surprises for newcomers is that our suburbs are exploding, but the roads, schools, and bridges haven't kept up. So even if you live in a quieter suburb, traffic can still pile up because the infrastructure is behind. What does this mean for you? Everything is going to take a little bit longer. Before you choose a neighborhood, test your commute at the time you actually drive into work, morning, evening, weekends. Your future sanity will thank you. The culture you don't expect. People think Texas has one culture, but Austin doesn't equal Dallas, Dallas doesn't equal Houston, and Houston definitely doesn't equal San Antonio. Every city feels like its own country, and that surprises a lot of new folks. Friendly but independent. Texans are extremely friendly. You'll get smiles, waves, people holding doors for you, all that. But real relationships take time. People here value that independence, the space, minding their own business until they know you. Then they're the kind of neighbors who'll lend you a ladder, watch your dog, give you a cup of sugar, and show up with a casserole when life hits you hard. Texas pride is a whole personality. Here's the thing about Texas. The pride is very, very real. Tell someone you don't like the brisket and watch their entire soul leave their body. And don't even think about calling the Cowboys overrated. Texans are loyal to a fault. But this pride isn't just for fun. It's rooted in Texas history, independence, war, storms, struggles, community, and triumph. It's woven into everything from school sports to food to how people show up for each other. Politics are mixed, not monolithic. Texas is still Texas, okay? Let's be clear about that. But what surprises newcomers is that policies, culture, and community values aren't uniform at all. They vary city to city and sometimes street by street. You cannot assume that one suburb reflects the whole metro. One thing you'll notice immediately, Texans are vocal about their opinions. Doesn't matter the topic, doesn't matter the side. People here aren't shy. That's part of the culture. And community matters more here. Once you're in for life. It really is everything here in Texas. Neighborhoods, school events, Friday night football, church gatherings, festivals, these shape your lifestyle more than you might expect. People show up, people support each other, and if you embrace that, you'll feel rooted here faster than what you think. Look, you've got questions about moving to Texas, right? Well, we've got answers, and if we don't, we're gonna find them. Click that link below to schedule a call. We'd love to be able to walk you through your decision about moving to Texas. Hey, did you find this video helpful? Then hit that like button. And if you're feeling my vibe, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so that you don't miss a thing. And I'll see y'all on the next one.